Hello back again on the Top Recap channel. This time I will tell a movie entitled The OctoGames. Let's get straight into the storyline. The film opens by introducing a young man who is a social media influencer with an impressive following of 115 million known as Jaxbro. He is already famous and earns money with ease. Inquisro is working on an idea for a game inspired by the concept of an octopus. The game will feature 8 different challenges, 8 participants, and only one winner. He decides to call an Octogame. Soon people begin registering for the game, hosted by Jaxbro. Upon arrival, all participants are required to surrender their devices, including phones, to guards dressed entirely in red and wearing masks. Among the registrants are 2 young women named Carrie and Maxine.
Carrie, I'm a singer-songwriter. It's nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Watching through a monitor, Gagger, Jaxbro, also masked, welcomes the participants. He explains that only 8 players will be selected to participate in the games. Each challenge will be recorded by cameras placed around the room, and the footage will be uploaded after all 8 games are completed. Curious, Maxine asks about the prize for the winner. At that moment, Jaxbro reveals that the victor will inherit all his social media accounts, sponsorships, and his entire following of 115 million people. This is part of his plan to retire from the social media world. The idea of inheriting such a vast platform excites the participants, motivating them to win the game. The first game soon begins. It is called Simon Says. The players must follow commands only if they are prefaced with the word Simon Says. Anyone who follows a command without hearing those words will be eliminated.
The last 8 standing will move on to Game 2. Good luck.
Suddenly, a character named the Eliminator appears dressed in a dog mascot costume. His role is to escort eliminated players. Moments later, the guard initiates the game with the command, Simon Says, clap once. The players comply and clap. However, when the guard says, put your hands on your head, omitting Simon Says, one distracted player follows the instruction and is declared eliminated. Without warning, the Eliminator brutally kills the player with a hammer.
No!
Terrified, some players attempt to flee but are shot dead by the other guards. After the chaos, only 8 players remain. Carrie, Maxine, AJ, Ruth, Kale, Walt, Jess, and Sunshine. With the first game behind them, the tension is palpable. Meanwhile, Jaxbro is shown living with his girlfriend, Luna, who is also a social media influencer. Her life revolves around pleasing her followers. Jaxbro confides in Luna, telling her that after the games are over, they will leave together and disappear from the public eye, living a life away from the scrutiny of social media. Not long after, the remaining 8 players are transferred to a room, all dressed in blue attire. Here, their distinct personalities begin to emerge. Carrie is shown to be compassionate, always looking out for others. Ruth displays slightly psychotic tendencies while Kale is selfish and determined to win by any means necessary. Walt, recognizing Kale's ruthlessness, decides to team up with him to eliminate the competition. Soon, the second game begins. It's called Hopscotch. The rules are simple. Players must jump into designated boxes. If the box's light turns red, they must pause and wait until it switches back to blue. Moving while the light is red results in elimination. Before the game begins, the players draw their turns. The first player was AJ. He got through the first game by jumping from one box to another carefully and stopping when necessary. Fortunately, Sally, the change in light, was accompanied by a whistling sound. So AJ, who knew the trick, was able to successfully complete the challenge.
Next contestant.
Next is Sunshine. However, Kale, intent on sabotage, mimics the whistle sound, deceiving Sunshine into moving while the light is still red. This results in her elimination, and the Eliminator swiftly executes her. Witnessing this, Carrie protests against Kale's unfair play, but the Eliminator strikes her, knocking her unconscious. The third game follows, titled Obstacle Course. Players must navigate a course and find the exit within 1 minute to avoid being killed by the Eliminator. Shortly after, Jess is the first player to attempt it. During the challenge, she swiftly maneuvers through the obstacles while evading the Eliminator. Unfortunately, despite reaching the exit, Jess is still shot dead for exceeding the time limit. Next is Carrie. Just before entering the course, she notices that the door in front of her is actually the exit, not the entrance. Using her wit, she cleverly navigates the situation, ensuring her survival. Inspired by her insight, the other players successfully complete the challenge as well.
Game 4 is up next.
Meanwhile, at her home, Luna meets with one of the Octogame guards. The woman hands over a package that Luna had requested, cyanide powder. Not long after, the fourth game begins titled Musical Chairs, where the 6 remaining players must compete for 5 chairs. As music plays, they walk around the chairs, and when the music stops, they must quickly claim a seat. After the music stops, the remaining players are eliminated and move to another room. In addition, the winner of this round will also receive a prize of $1 million, which will be transferred directly to their bank account.
May the best player win.
The game resumes, and one by one, players are eliminated. First AJ, then Walt, followed by Maxine, and finally Carrie. This leaves only Kale and Ruth, both known for their selfishness. The eliminated players, including Carrie, are placed in a separate room. Unexpectedly, Jax Pro changes the rules, declaring that the next eliminated player between Kale and Ruth will be executed. As a result, they fight fiercely over the final chair, which will determine their survival. Ruth initially secures the chair, but Kale forcibly takes it, assaulting Ruth in the process. Consequently, Ruth is executed by the guards. However, Ruth is later revealed to be alive and brought to Jax Pro's home. Instead of killing her, Jax Pro recruits her as a guard for the OctoGames.
I'm in.
Good.
Soon, the 5th game begins, Hide and Seek. The players, now at Jax Pro's residence, are given 1 minute to find a hiding spot. After that, the eliminator will search for them, and whoever is caught will be eliminated and executed.
60, 59, 58.
As the game starts, the 5 remaining players scatter to hide. Once hidden, the eliminator begins his search.
9. Here he comes.
Soon, Kale is discovered and, in a desperate attempt to save himself, runs into the room where Maxine and Walt are hiding. He convinces Walt to push Maxine, leading her to be caught and executed by the eliminator. Meanwhile, Carrie spots an opportunity to escape, but is intercepted by a guard aiming a gun at her. She pleads for her life, but her attention is drawn to Maxine's screams for help. Acting quickly, Carrie rushes to find her, but arrives too late, witnessing Maxine's lifeless body. At that moment, Carrie realizes that Kale orchestrated Maxine's demise, deepening her hatred for him. Elsewhere, Kale encounters one of the guards and is shocked to recognize Ruth, who he thought was dead. Later, Ruth meets with Jax Pro at his home. It was revealed that Jax Pro takes her to his studio and instructs her to eliminate the female guard who delivered cyanide to Luna a few days earlier. Not long after, the 6th game begins, called Tetherball. The rules are straightforward. Players face off one-on-one, aiming to hit the ball around the pole for 3 complete rotations. The next round of the game pairs AJ against Walt and Carrie against Kale. The losers from each match will face off to determine who gets eliminated. The first match begins with AJ easily defeating Walt. Then Kale battles Carrie. Knowing she cannot win against Kale, Carrie intentionally lets him win, conserving her strength for the next match against Walt, whose hands are already injured. When Carrie faces Walt, she seizes the opportunity and wins, leading to Walt's elimination. A guard shoots Walt, and the eliminator proceeds to beat him. During the assault, Walt accidentally dislodges the eliminator's mascot head, enraging him. The eliminator then strikes Walt's head with a hammer. Meanwhile, Luna, disillusioned by Jax Pro's ruthless behavior, poisons his drink with cyanide powder, intending to kill him. However, Jax Pro hesitates and instructs Luna to take a sip first. When she refuses, his suspicions arise.
It's nasty.
And if there's nothing in here, you have nothing to worry about.
With no other option, Luna attempts to flee, but is intercepted and shot by Ruth. As a result, Luna immediately dies, and Jax Pearl approves her actions. They then plot to escape together after the game concludes. The 7th game, Hangman, begins. The players, each fitted with electric cables to their heads, must guess a word displayed on a screen by selecting letters one by one. Incorrect guesses result in electric shocks, with the voltage increasing with each wrong answer. Those who successfully guess the phrase will advance to the 8th and final game. When the game starts, Carrie and AJ manage to guess the correct letters, while Kale repeatedly guesses incorrectly and suffers multiple shocks. Eventually, after most of the letters are revealed, Kale cleverly guesses the correct phrase, securing his place in the next round. Only Carrie and AJ remain. However, AJ, unwilling to let Carrie lose, sacrifices himself by refusing to guess, causing the voltage to increase until it kills him. This leaves only Kale and Carrie to face off in the final game for the ultimate prize. Meanwhile, the Eliminator visited Jaxbro's house. Upon seeing him, Jaxbro was furious with the Eliminator for revealing his face during the game as it violated the rules. Consequently, Ruth executed the Eliminator.
Oh no, Jaxbro, please! What? No, 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 no!
Soon after, the final game commenced. It was called Capture the Flag. The rules were simple. The first person to hold the flag for 3 seconds would be declared the winner. However, players were strictly forbidden from killing or incapacitating their opponents. Any form of cheating would result in immediate elimination. As the game began, Carrie and Kale sprinted towards the red cloth. Although Carrie reached the flag first, Kale cheated again by pushing her to the ground. Carrie noticed another flag at the edge of the forest and quickly made her way to grab it. Meanwhile, Kale realized too late that he had been holding a stick instead of the actual flag. As a result, Kale was eliminated and Carrie was declared the winner. Moments later, a guard approached Carrie and sedated her. When Carrie regained consciousness, she found herself in Jaxbro's house. On the table, she discovered a paper containing the email and password to Jaxbro's social media accounts. Not only that, the guard also informed her that the house now belonged to her. 3 months passed, and Carrie had become a famous influencer. However, she was shocked to see that Jaxbro had created a new social media account and was now in a relationship with Ruth.